Yesterday marked the official measurement day at the NBA Draft Combine in Chicago. And for those wondering, here are Egor Demin's official NBA Combine measurements. Standing at 6 feet 8 inches and a quarter barefoot, 199.2 pounds, with a 6 foot 10 and a quarter inch wingspan and an 8 foot 9 and a half inch standing reach. That is professional length. They also added from Jonathan Givony, the Russian point guard measured a little taller than expected. A little taller is never a bad thing.
Especially for a point guard.
Right? As mentioned, it was also the NBA Draft Lottery last night. Sorry, Shep.
Yeah.
Dave McCann said you were on an 8-day fast. I hope you're feeling better. I hope you ate.
Oh, trust me, I ate. It was some depression eating.
Multiple notable publications have updated their mock drafts based on what happened with the lottery reveal last night, and Egor Demin's prospects are better. CBS Sports has him going number 10 to the Houston Rockets, ESPN at number 12 to the Chicago Bulls, Yahoo Sports at 14 to San Antonio. I know you love those Spurs, Jason.
Yeah, I'm so happy for their success and luck.
USA Today, 15 to Oklahoma City. Wouldn't hate that. Sports Illustrated at 17 to Minnesota, and The Athletic still has Demin going 18 to the Washington Wizards. I don't like that. Okay, so it seems like, for the most part, his projections improved literally overnight. Yeah. Why, Jason?
Well, and it goes back to what we started the segment off with, talking about the measurements. And look, I think sometimes, okay, not sometimes, most times, in all of these drafts, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the NFL, I think the measurables get blown way out of proportion, especially if you don't meet the measurables, you're immediately cast off. I think that's ridiculous. But for a situation like this, where, as you saw from Jonathan Givony, talking about the fact that Egor actually measured a little taller than expected, barefoot, I think his measurables impressed people enough.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That something like that.
Yes.
It bumps you up?
Well, look, how today, and I know we're not an NBA show, but after the measurables came out yesterday, everybody was talking about how disappointing it was for Ace Bailey of Rutgers, because Ace Bailey is listed at 6'10" in college. Well, I think in his bare feet, he measured just a little over 6'7".
That's a 2.5 inch drop.
And so that was a knock on him. So for Egor to be able to measure close to what he's listed at 6'9", barefoot, but to also be a little taller than what they thought, and his wingspan, we know how long his wingspan is.
Yes, he has almost a 7-foot wingspan.
But you look at all of these mocks, to your point, we've been doing this over the last couple of weeks, and for a while, you started to see Egor, the certainly late lottery, but late teens is where he had kind of settled in a lot of these mock drafts over the last couple of weeks. What we saw at the Combine with his measurables, and then what he showed on film throughout the year, and especially towards the end of the year in the NCAA tournament, that's why you're starting to see some of these teams that are now looking at him. And let's be honest, some of these teams are a little different than what we thought they were going to be because of the way that the lotteries panned out last night.
Holy cow. I am now leaning more favorably toward Egor being taken as a lottery pick.
I agree with you.
Now, if he drops out and happens to go number 15 to the Thunder, that wouldn't be the worst thing ever. The Thunder,
they know
the best team in the West. They know how to develop young talent.
Yeah.
That would be a great landing spot. But I do feel like he's going to show out in the Combine. He said, I'm going to show up and prove that I am a much better shooter than people think I am. Once again, baseline right now is people don't think he's a great shooter, and these are the projections. These are the projections.
Yeah.
So if he's better, Jason, why not be a lottery pick?
That's why the one-on-one workouts and the groups, and I would love to know who they're going to match him up with other workouts going on at the same time. I would love to know what those matchups are.
Cannot wait to find out what Egor does. All eyes on the Combine as far as the NBA world goes. When it's not an actual playoff game, it's the Combine, and there will be plenty of commentary on one of the more polarizing players in the draft. You and I believe that NBA executives will reach for just size, and they will reach for international players who have a high ceiling.
Look, and they will reach they can reach, and if one of the things that he has going from, speaking of Egor, is character. His character and personality will also be something that GMs and team owners and certainly fan bases will gravitate towards.
You're not going to have to worry about
yes,
Egor.
100%. That unfortunately is probably lower on the list of things to pay attention to, but it's still part of the overall thing.
Doesn't hurt his profile.
It does not hurt. And if you've got a couple of guys that are in that same area and production's around the same, size is around the same, but you look at Yegor's personality and his character and what he's going to bring or maybe not bring to the table, maybe that pushes him over the edge. And I think that absolutely could be the case.
Unlike the NBA draft lottery, Jason hoping that the actual NBA lottery is a good thing for Egor Demin. Okay, not just the picks, but the actual players going to teams.
June 25th is the lottery, or excuse me, is the NBA draft.
Let's
go.